Welcome to the Restricted Handling Daily Intel Brief. This is what's been going on in China in the past 24 hours. China just wrapped a high-profile visit with Vladimir Putin, right on the heels of President Trump's trip to Beijing. The optics alone are worth noting. Xi Jinping and Putin projected a coordinated front, but beneath the ceremony and tea, Beijing maintained its leverage. The joint statements emphasized a multipolar world and framed U.S. initiatives as destabilizing, reinforcing the idea that China and Russia are shaping global norms on their own terms. The energy conversation remains critical. Russia hoped to push ahead with the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline, which would carry 50 billion cubic meters of gas to China through Mongolia. But negotiations remain unresolved. There's still no pricing or timeline agreement. This pipeline is Moscow's ace in the hole after losing most of its European gas markets, yet Beijing continues to keep its options open. Energy is being used as a strategic lever, a reminder that China can manage bilateral relations while maintaining control over Moscow's ambitions. On the strategic messaging side, both Beijing and Moscow voiced concern about U.S. initiatives. Trump's Golden Dome missile defense system and the lapse of the New START treaty without replacement drew pointed criticism from the two capitals. The narrative is clear. Washington is being framed as a destabilizing influence, though neither Russia nor China committed to any new nuclear posture changes. This continues to be a subtle signal that China and Russia are synchronized in their strategic communications without binding operational commitments. Economic maneuvers are also in focus. China has confirmed the purchase of 200 Boeing jets and is extending the tariff truce, along with pursuing reciprocal cuts on roughly $30 billion in trade. Rare earth export controls remain, though Beijing has selectively eased exports of yttrium and scandium to the U.S. These moves show China is willing to nudge U.S. access just enough to avoid disruptions while retaining leverage over critical sectors, including technology and minerals that underpin high-tech industries. Taiwan continues to be the flashpoint. Following President Trump's recent comments on a $14 billion arms package, President Lai Ching-te emphasized that Taiwan's future belongs to its people and reaffirmed the island's commitment to credible deterrence through ongoing military modernization. Meanwhile, daily PLA activity in the Strait continues. Aircraft and naval patrols, along with the Liaoning Carrier Group conducting live-fire training in the Western Pacific, underscore China's persistent messaging, capability demonstration without direct escalation. Taipei is responding not only to U.S. signals, but also to continuous Chinese pressure, highlighting the delicate balance in the Strait. Diplomacy is a balancing act for Xi, who is juggling U.S. engagement and ties with Moscow simultaneously. Putin's visit underscores Russia's growing dependence on China economically and technologically, including critical energy and AI components. While their messaging on Ukraine and the multipolar world is consistent, subtle updates indicate increased operational interdependence and ongoing discussion of energy supply. These interactions reinforce the narrative of strategic alignment, even as China carefully calibrates its leverage. Energy flows outside China also remain a strategic concern. Roughly 45% of China's Gulf imports pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Recent departures of supertankers carrying about 4 million barrels of crude highlight the vulnerability of these channels amidst U.S.-Iran negotiations. Russia continues to supply oil to China, and the ongoing pipeline discussions remain vital. The intersection of global energy markets and geopolitics is very much in play, affecting Beijing's risk calculus and strategic positioning. On the intelligence and domestic security front, China continues to assert control while signaling deterrence. The Ministry of State Security reported foreign actors exploiting domestic routers for phishing campaigns targeting critical institutions. Internally, Fox Hunt operations captured over 880 economic fugitives, recovering over 37 billion yuan. European authorities also arrested individuals for allegedly obtaining sensitive military-related information for China. These developments show that Beijing is actively managing internal control and international influence simultaneously, reinforcing security in sectors including AI, semiconductors, and advanced technology. Operational military cooperation with Russia remains a strategic complement to these broader alignments. Reports indicate that last year approximately 200 Russian personnel were trained in China in drones, electronic warfare, mortars, and armored infantry. Some of these personnel are now deployed in Ukraine. Meanwhile, the PLA continues exercises in Inner Mongolia alongside Mongolian forces to enhance regional stability. This is a measured approach, where tactical cooperation supports strategic positioning without escalating conflict in the region. Finally, Russia's independent deterrence capabilities were on display in three-day nuclear drills launched May 19th. The exercises involved personnel, missile launchers, aircraft, ships, and strategic assets, including Belarusian participation. While these drills showcase Moscow's operational capacity, they also highlight Russia's ongoing reliance on Beijing for economic and technological support, reinforcing the operational interdependence we've seen throughout the week. Thank you for listening and for contributing to the growth of this community. If you found the show valuable, a review or a thoughtful comment helps extend its reach to others. For more in-depth analysis, we publish a daily intel brief on Substack, restrictedhandling.substack.com, covering Russia, China, Iran, the Middle East, and the DPRK. Take care and have a great day.